gross, but
yeah, but
I'm back in the closet here, not in a homosexual way, but because the audio is allegedly better when you're in a closet. Because it's a confined space. But here we are, it's January 9th.
Explains why recording rooms are basically covered.
Hey!
There he is. This is his Dirk.
Alrighty, here we go. And I just realized I muted you guys because I thought I was hearing myself, but I realized.
I was just trying to say that this is Jackson's Dirk Nowitzki in the finals. This is his Michael Jordan flu game. This is his version.
You just said that because you just recently watched The Secret Vase sinus infection.
Yeah, but that's a Michael Jordan flu game. That's what it is. That's what he's doing right now. He's toughing out being sick to be here.
I know. He's putting the sinus strips on. He's popping a bunch of Sudafeds.
Exactly. He's got he might have a sinus.
Are you wearing a Gamecock shirt?
Yes, sir.
Go Canucks, baby.
Rock Ox. What happened to Spencer Rattler?
He ended up having a decent year at the end of it.
They ended up taking down, who was it? Kentucky.
Is he a draft prospect?
Clemson, and they
Clemson.
Is he a draft? Tennessee? Is he still a first round
LSU,
pick?
LSU.
Is Spencer Rattler a first round pick?
No. Close. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Second, third?
Maybe.
What are you in? What's Harry Potter? What is he in? Like the under the stairs? What is that where you are right now?
Oh no, I'm not. That's funny. I'm in the closet though. I am in a closet. You remember I used to record in the closet when I would stay here?
Been waiting for you to come out for a while, but
I know. I was thinking about the R. Kelly. I step into the closet. I pull out my Beretta. He steps closer to the closet. I pull out my Beretta. Oh God, dude, that song's so good.
It's like 30 fucking parts or whatever.
There's 22, but I've seen it 3 times through. It won an Emmy or something for
it's a
hip opera. There never ever was a hip opera before that. He invented a genre.
He invented that.
And it's not that bad.
No, it's actually pretty good.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's entertaining. That's why everybody makes fun of it.
Alrighty. Let's get right into today and let's talk about it. Alrighty. And Jackson's ailing. So we'll talk about
what's I have so many opinions on this, but for the clip, I'll save it for at the end.
Luke over here was the one who wanted to talk about Thunder.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Either way,
dude, they put up 150 without Shea against the Boston fucking Celtics, and they won. Dude, they've won 3 out of their last 4. I know they didn't. Luka didn't play last night for Dallas, but the Thunder are only a game and a half out of the play-in, man. Shea's playing like an MVP right now, and nobody's talking about it. He's obviously not going to win it, but the Thunder have a chance to make the playoffs. The bottom teams in the play-in fucking suck. They have a real shot. And nobody is talking about it because we all assume they would just be terrible this year.
Well, it's because Sam Presti said last year during the offseason that if they're a play-in team, they're only going to continue winning. So their decision is when the trade deadline comes around, we'll make a decision if we decide it's worth the win, is what he basically said. And last year, so he basically said if we're a play-in team, that's not good enough, so we'll tank. He basically said if we're top 6
and that's what the plan was for this season, but they have overperformed massively to start the year.
I think, again, if All-Star break, I don't want this to happen.
You think they're in the play-in? Do you think they trade Shea?
No.
Then what would they do?
Sit him. Mysterious injury.
Oh, this year? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about sitting him?
I'm saying is All-Star break comes around. They're like the 10th or 11th seed, and they're just like, Shea just has a sprain.
Shea has a hamstring issue.
Shea has a hamstring issue. I don't want this. I just, unless they're a top 6 seed when the All-Star break comes around or right around then, I think Sam Presti will be like, okay, if they're top 6 seed, we're going to keep going this way. But if they're a play-in team, like a borderline play-in team, they're just going to be like, oh, hey, Shea, Lou Dort, hamstrings.
I could see it, man. I don't know. I hope not, because
I don't think they're trading anyone. They have a core.
If this team sneaks into the play, and I think it's good for them because I think they like have a real shot of winning and playing to make the playoffs. But that's not how they see it. So, like, and I think like
the other reason why I think
they have so many picks already, man.
Like, that's why I think the reason why they'll
why are they tanking? Do you know how many fucking picks they have?
Listen to this. If they mysteriously sit Shea and Lou Dort, it's because they want to give Josh Giddey and Trey Mann extra reps that like they haven't.
People do that without sitting those guys. Like that's why I would hate it if they did that because it doesn't make sense.
I just don't think you trade Shea, a top 20 player in the NBA.
Why would you trade top 10 this season?
Top 10 this season. I'm just saying top 20.
Yes, like general. Why would you trade him? You cannot.
You don't trade him. The only and everyone's saying like, if he goes to the Raptors. If the Raptors are trading for Shea, I want OG Anunoby and maybe even Pascal Siakam together for Shea.
Yeah, or yeah, because like if that's
because you think about it next year, if they have a top pick,
that might not be enough.
If they get Amen Thompson or Scoot Henderson, or Scoot Henderson, that's Josh Giddey, Shea, Lou Dort, Chet, and whoever they draft.
Yeah, like they don't even have Chet this year. We don't even know what he's going to look like, and like they already have a good core.
Bruno just said it best. What's up, Bruno? By the way,
you guys keep throwing around this word core. Who's their core?
Josh Giddey, and Chet.
We just said it.
Bruno just said it best. Shea's the kind of guy you tank for. Yeah. Why would you trade him?
Exactly.
I don't think Shea will get traded. Those picks are to go get yourself OG Anunoby, or somebody.
Those picks are how you draft like Scoot Henderson and add him to the team.
Definitely. But I don't.
Okay, let's hear your take.
They're gonna be nowhere near the playoffs. They just took down a Luka-less team. They beat the measly Wizards. They just lost to the Magic the game before that. The Celtics game that Luke called last week, that was nice. But I mean, Shea's having a great year. Actually, he's having a phenomenal year. But I mean, Josh Giddey hasn't quite. They're just not good enough to make the playoffs past the play-in. And the only way they would get there is if they squeaked their way in. I'm not sold on Lou Dort, but I know he's on like a really good contract. It's been nice to see Jalen Williams the last couple of weeks, but I mean, Josh Giddey and Shea are not bringing you to the playoffs. There's like 5 teams above 500 in the West, so I'm going more at the West than I. But yeah, they've exceeded expectations. Good for them, but I would definitely shut down Shea at some point in the season.
Man. If they're still in like a game out of the 6th seed or 2 games out of the 6th seed by the All-Star break, they should you hate to see them shut down their best player.
Yeah.
When they have a real shot.
Yeah, I don't. My worry if I was a Thunder fan is like, okay, the teams in front of me that are struggling this year: the Warriors, the Clippers, the Suns, the Wolves, the Lakers, and the Blazers. Like they're just not going to be anywhere near the play-in at the end of the season, unfortunately for them. So
we'll see. Let's hope that
their offense sucks.
So at this point,
put it fine. Their offense is not. It's okay. Maybe sucks is the wrong word, but they're not.
Why do everyone acts like they're going to use all the?
Definitely the wrong word. They're scoring like 116 points a game. Like
they're good defensively. They play defense. And the thing is with this team is everyone's acting like they're going to use every single pick. Nah, dude. They're just I think this year, and whoever they draft next year, I think they might just use one pick next year. I think at this point, they're figuring out who to keep and who not to keep. And then they're just going to start bringing in vets. They're going to start making trades for vets to teams that are selling and start bringing in pieces. And then just we know the core. Okay, and that is Chet, Shea, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort right now. Kenrick Williams and Jeremiah Robinson Earl as well. Those are good role players. They're one other co-star away from Shea. And they can trade for a guy
and it's Chet.
But what I'm saying is,
if Shea wasn't having an MVP season, this team would be at least 10 games below 500. That's it.
Yeah, and Shea's having an MVP.
And exactly as Donald said, I'm not sold on Chet. The man is out for his entire rookie season.
But we're saying away from Shea. It might be somebody bad.
I don't like this Lou Dort being thrown around it that he's in
Lou
the corner.
Dort,
And I'm
Lou
not
Dort is
even
making a
sold-
3 a game and shooting like 35% from 3 in addition to
Just
being phenomenal.
can I throw this out in a
Better year last year.
hypothetical thing right here? You remember, I don't think Trae Young is going to be traded, but there's some superstar that's on a rookie deal is going to now a rookie extension, like rookie supermax extension, who's entering his prime. In this example, I don't think Trae Young's ever leaving Atlanta because Atlanta would be stupid to allow that happen.
But
Because the report, let's say, for example, the Thunder, if they wanted to have a Shea Trae Young backcourt right now, they have all the assets to trade for that. They can offer the best package.
Yeah, nobody has what they have.
For any superstar, that if the team was trying to rebuild, nobody can give what the Thunder can give to a team looking to rebuild if they were trying to trade their superstar.
Well, they'd have to get rid of either Shea, Chet, or Giddey.
No, they'd probably give up Giddey. That's what I'm saying. They give up Giddey or Trae in the combination of,
and they have so many fucking picks.
That's what I'm saying. They can just say, here's 8 picks and Josh Giddey.
And a lot of those
few other guys.
The Clippers picks in like 4 years when they're going to be a bad team. So like those are good. It's like the Celtics Nets shit. That's what it is.
Literally, and they're just sitting there ready to make a massive trade if the trade presents themselves. If a young guy demands a trade, like let's say if, for example, right here, Brandon Ingram gets upset, which I doubt, he loves it there. But like, let's say a team that's like or here, Devin Booker. If Devin Booker gets super pissed off at Phoenix, and Phoenix is yeah, I don't think they would want DeAndre Ayton. Fuck that. DeAndre Ayton's a borderline all-star. You don't trade shit for that.
Yeah, but they don't have to trade much to get him. Do you know how many fucking assets they have?
Yeah, but the arsenal of assets that the Thunder have is to make a trade for if Devin Booker asks out.
Yes. They're not getting any of these guys quite yet. I don't get.
This is all hypothetical down the road, bro. Somebody
down the road, like 3 years from now, I guess.
Yeah, 2-3 years, and they're still gonna have so many picks. And they're
they're loaded.
Shea's not going anywhere. Loaded. Shea's the reason why players are going to want to come to Oklahoma City. You keep Shea so people want to fucking come here.
When all these guys are in their prime, Shea will be what?
2 years older than them.
2 years.
2 years older.
Like 4. He's 4 years older.
Perfect.
What is Shea? 22, 23?
He's 24. And he'll be 25 in the offseason. So,
okay, so he's 4 years older. So when the guy's in 4 years, he'll be 29, and everybody will be 25.
And they'll be in their primes. Perfect. Lines up grades.
Yeah, lines are perfect.
How are you going to get like a Devin Booker without? But I guess if it's down the line, maybe they'll have enough talent. But you can't trade like Kendrick Williams.
No, like Josh Giddey.
If things go south in Phoenix this year, and Chris Paul leaves, and DeAndre Ayton requests to trade, and Devin Booker's like, I don't want to be here. After those guys leave and the Suns' core's gone, who's to say that in like 2 years the Thunder don't?
The Thunder can trade everybody not named fucking Shea and Chet and their this year's pick.
I mean, they can trade Chet. We don't know. We haven't seen him.
Exactly. All right, let's move on and over here. And we wanted to talk about the fact that ESPN fucking lied to us.
Well, they didn't lie. All they said was it was an exclusive one-on-one interview with LeBron James, which is what happened. But the way
did you guys watch it?
No, I only saw the quotes because that's all you needed to see. It was literally just him saying that he wanted to play basketball with his son, like the Ken Griffey senior junior thing. That's what he said. And then he said he's not satisfied right now being in the play-in or whatever, out of the plan. He wants them to be better. That's literally he's not satisfied with that. They're not winning as much as they should right now. And he wants to play basketball with his kid.
But they barely even put the quotes out. I feel like you had
because there was nothing to quote. There was nothing to everything that he said in that interview was stuff that we already know. He just wanted to sit down and say, he just said officially in a quote now that he wants to play on the same team as his son. Because they asked him about Kareem's scoring record and what he has to accomplish in basketball. And that's what he said. That's all that was good for. We all knew that he wanted to play on the same team as his son. We all knew that. And he had alluded to that, but he officially said it. That's all that it was. It's a waste of everyone's fucking time. And he had it up thinking it was going to be a big deal when all it ended up being was him saying shit we already knew.
Bruno, I want to say something about your comment. Booker has millions invested in.
Katie had a restaurant in Oklahoma City.
I was about to say this.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson has just bought a $7 million mansion in San Antonio and owns millions of dollars in properties in San Antonio. He's never played in San Antonio. He just grew up in San Antonio. Yeah. You can have properties somewhere and just live, but you got me laughing. ESPN lying. Yeah, no, they're just a waste of time. I mean, everybody knows ESPN literally does whatever they want to stay relevant at this point. It's almost sad at this point. Like Fox Sports is completely aware that they're like an old school media. Like, so they're like, we're just gonna like I don't watch Fox Sports, but I respect them because they're like, look, we are cable TV. We're just gonna that's what we do. We'll put our clips on YouTube, but we're not gonna do.
Kids will watch Shannon Sharp berate Skip Bayless, but other than that, everything else they have, they know it's like old school cable TV.
It's old school. They just want the 50, 60-year-olds sitting on their couch. ESPN's over here doing whatever to do to stay relevant. They now they're bringing in all these young people who especially on NBA, piss me off.
I hate look at their SportsCenter Instagram. That is the worst.
But the other thing is everybody on ESPN is trying to be a fashionista, so everyone's wearing Jordans and shit and trying to be super. And I'm just dude, first off, I don't understand. I don't understand why you need to wear a suit to talk sports. But again, I understand it. It's broadcast journalism. They expect you to dress a suit. So wear a fucking suit. Don't go out there and try to be on a runway. Everyone wearing a suit and then they're just wearing Jordans or their shoes and stuff like that. I'm just they're just trying to be relevant.
Yeah,
it's just so annoying.
I'm not a fan of Malika Andrews, and it's all Malika Andrews.
Malika Andrews.
Fox Sports.
Okay. So
Howard and First Things First. I even love Nick Wright.
Where were you January? Where were you January 6th, Jackson? Where were you January 6th?
Brazil.
But
well, what I got from the ESPN, I don't know how ESPN lied, but what I got from what I got from this whole interview with LeBron was that he is saying, I'm still able to get you a championship. We have these draft assets from 5 years from now. I'm trying to play with my kid, and you need to make a trade. And now, I don't care what report comes out, the Los Angeles Lakers will definitely make a trade because that's pretty much what LeBron James insinuated without getting his teammates sad.
So, yeah, no, I agree, and it's
exactly.
All this information has been going around for the past.
We already knew this stuff, and they wasted everybody's time by fucking broadcasting it.
I want to say something.
It wasn't a big deal. It's not like the fucking decision.
Malika Andrews got her sister hired. Did you notice that? And
I
also,
I don't like Malika Andrews.
They got her sister hired because I never knew about her sister Kenya or whatever. I think it's her name Kenya, or now she covers the Warriors. And if you just look at Malika and her sister's resume, because they have LinkedIn's and you can read it, they literally just I think they graduated college 5 years ago. They really got in there really well, and they're nice and all that, but
it's a whole issue with wokeness media.
Yes. Somebody had to say it. It's
the rate. It's just because it was the pushback from the Rachel Nichols shit when that tape.
Yeah.
They had
we talked about it. I think this
Disney
summer.
Disney doesn't.
Yeah, Disney's a great. Yeah, that's a great point too.
Disney doesn't care about actually being woke because they're not, because they don't actually care about helping.
Dude, the best thing is
Disney doesn't actually care about helping out disenfranchised groups and things like that, but they try to act like they do. But they.
I think we're starting to finally get out of this dumb woke shit, because now there's this whole other side getting pissed off when shit is too woke, and then shit just bombs now. A couple new Pixar and animated movies, kids movies tried being too woke, and they bombed.
What do you mean by that, though? It's we're not going to get into this.
We're not just because they're too PC. I'm progressive and all stuff, but let's not jam PC shit down people's throats.
I loved when you watch this.
That's different. That's the whole, being woke is fine. It's not a big deal. But
okay, when they try to be too liberally retarded and appease one side, and they just I'm moderate in this.
Yeah, see, I'm clearly not, but Like,
And then we have Mr. fucking Insurrection himself at the bottom of the screen.
we had to.
No, I'm just making a joke that you're a conservative.
Yeah, but it does.
No.
At the end of the day,
I don't.
At the end of the day, like
Not political.
it was that's all it was. They were just trying. ESPN was just pushing back. Like they had to do something to make them not look bad because Rachel Nichols looked really fucking bad in that audio. The leaked tape.
Was she wrong though?
What? I mean, she just said she wasn't going to be a diversity hire, like an expensive, like a diversity hire, but like
Did she say anything wrong though? She was just saying what people were thinking.
But like she doesn't realize that like she herself.
You're not denying that. You're not.
She herself was a diversity hire. She was one of the first like women NBA journalists to work for ESPN. So the fact that she's complaining about diversity hires when she herself was one, it's a little hypocritical. That's why people were pissed about that. At least that's why I was pissed about that.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
I don't think a lot of these ESPN people are all that qualified, as Cyro kind of touched on. And real quick, my favorite part of the summer was when I forget what were they talking about. We showed it on the show where Malika cut off Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith.
Because she tried to bring some woke shit, and he was like, "You don't come on and do this woke, liberty, retarded shit on my show. We're talking sports.
And
We're not talking." Yeah, and he's like, "Don't interrupt me on my fucking show." And she like,
"Oh, it was on his show."
Yeah, and she tried like cutting off
and
she tried cutting this whole like liberal PC.
Stephen A. is the company's cash cow. He's their Michael Jordan. They'll do whatever they need to keep him.
And she kept trying to cut him off, and he was like, "No."
Yeah, he was not having. What was it? What were they talking about?
I don't know what it was though, but he bitched Malika Andrews. She was just sitting there biting her tongue. She's just like, "I look stupid." She knew she looked stupid because she tried pulling some woke stuff. I don't know if it was WNBA. Was it WNBA or
it was Ime Udoka?
Yes, and she tried slandering and bringing this whole. She was just doing something about this whole thing about women, and she's like, "We weren't even talking about that. That's not even like." He's like, he started losing his shit. We're talking sports, basically he was saying time and place. This is sports. You know what I mean? And she was just trying to go super progressive politically. I'm like, bro, we're trying to watch sports.
But like, I don't even know what he would be saying about the whole Ime Udoka thing. That wasn't the Ime.
Just trying to be a feminist. She was just trying to get like 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's no reason for that. What they're talking about Ime Udoka.
Yeah, and she was trying to have a feminist moment
about how he took advantage. Like, he kind of took advantage of women that he worked with, but like,
Stephen A. shut it down. He was like, "No, you're not having your feminist epiphany on here."
About him taking advantage of women that he worked like you're already talking about that, so there's no reason for her to go on.
The problem with ESPN, if you look at a lot of the people who cover NBA, they didn't start in the NBA. They're all failed football report. I don't want to say failed football reporters.
Well, because most of the NBA guys don't want to do that shit anymore, unless it's like Shaq and fucking Charles Barkley, where they get to fuck around every 2 days.
Everybody in sports journalism wants to cover NFL and college football. That's the big bucks. That's everything. So if you look at all these people, they usually started out in college football, were sideline reporters, and looks like I don't know if they got passed up or whatever. They didn't become hosts or whatever in football, but then they get offered host jobs in NBA. And half of them are like coming from like soccer, football, you know, in like other sports and working reporter. And then seems like then they get hosting jobs in NBA. And you're just like, why are you coming from football and other sports when like it'd be best if you just brought in talent that's been covering that said sport and other, like it's fine if they're covering other sports, but that they're mainly focused in that sport.
I mean, yeah, like I get what you're saying.
I'm not asking Phil Mickelson over here to come talk about the NBA.
Honestly, there's not that many interesting people in the NBA business, but I guess like now.
Bruno says it best. Stephen A. started with, first of all, you don't interrupt me on my show.
Excuse me?
Yeah, like Stephen A. is doing everything for that company, and he's the only reason that they are still like as relevant as they are, if we're gonna be honest, when it comes to like it's Steve, like people will tune into ESPN because Stephen A. is there. That's why they have him do multiple Sports Center appearances. He does his First Take show. He does his radio show immediately after. He carries that network.
So the Minnesota Timberwolves, my T-Wolves, baby, are on winning. And it's
on that 4 in a row now?
4 in a row, baby. We are 20-21. I told you, once Karl Anthony Towns got hurt, it was going to open up the floor. And the crazy part is, it's not just Anthony Edwards leading charge. No, D'Angelo Russell, in all of this noise and stuff, people saying he sucks, that he's potentially getting traded, he unfollowed the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's came alive, and he's helped this team. And it's not just that. Jaden McDaniels, Taurean Prince, a plethora of people. Austin Rivers, kind of been gas, kind of a leader of this team. Austin Rivers took what Pat Bev was doing last year and like took his place. Obviously, I don't know.
I mean, they're not a terrible team, man. They've started. They're like, I guess I don't know if this like says anything long term about like the outlook as far as like we've said a lot about the Timberwolves about how Rudy Gobert and Cat aren't really helping this team at all. And I think I think with Cat being hurt and them starting to, I think they have started to realize a little bit they played way better offensively and more free flowing without Gobert and Towns on the floor. So like I think eventually if they realize that, like obviously it's too late to trade Gobert, they can't trade him. But if this team keeps winning and like without like Cat obviously, and they keep continuing to play well. Maybe they could talk about flipping Cat for somebody valuable before the deadline and make a push for the playoffs at the end of the year because they have everything else. They just need to have a true co-star besides Anthony Edwards.
I think this is I don't know. The only deal that I see out there for D'Angelo Russell, and I don't know why we're even talking about D'Lo being traded, but it's because he's an expiring contract. It's the Will Barton, Monte Morris, like Rui Hachimura, but it came out that they didn't even offer Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, so it's like I think D'Lo stays with this team at least for the end of the season. And as far as bringing him back, I don't know, but I mean, he certainly has been like he led them in scoring the other night, and he's actually been playing pretty well. So I'm not saying that like they will bring him back, but I think it's definitely something that they might look at especially if they can't trade him before the end of the year.
So this is a team where I think what they've found, they're starting defense, which is the best offense, and that's kind of like why they've been surging. They've been playing really good defense as of late, but it's also the fact that the floor is opening up. Like we're starting to see our guys shoot threes. And I think that's just something. What do you like? I think just having D'Lo and Anthony Edwards be your facilitators, like, are interesting as all hell. You know, like they've been over. What I want to pull up the splits for the month of December. I mean, not just I guess you could say December was when they first started doing it, but December you just saw Anthony Edwards take over as the lead facilitator. What are your thoughts, Jackson?
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're all just kind of playing well. Like D'Lo, Ant's still doing his thing.
Rudy Gobert's averaging 17.
Yeah, he's had a good stretch of games. They're just scoring more points, and defensively they're still holding it down. Jaden McDaniel's done a great job. Jalen Noel's done a great job.
Taurean Prince
done a great job. Yeah, and this is like you just it's kind of crazy because they have a lot of just capable players that I guess haven't really been able to piece it together on a consistent level. So it's cool to see. I'm not necessarily completely sold on when Cat gets back, but we'll see. They're only a game below 500 right now. So
I just think if you look over here, you got yourself Austin Rivers. Literally, he's in 25 minutes a night. His stats don't look like anything over this 4-game win streak. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists to steal a night. But his assist to turnover ratio is 6. Like he's averaging like no turnovers.
He's being efficient with the ball.
Yeah, he's like literally, and then he just
something that he wasn't always, good at doing.
And then you have what? I just think
that wasn't one of his strengths.
And then you have Kyle Anderson as your small ball 5 with a little bit of Luka Garza and Naz Reid, who Luka Garza and Naz Reid have been like polar opposite players, but both efficient. You get Luka Garza rebounding and just fucking physical. Then Naz Reid can just be hustler, tenacity, and spacing the floor a little bit and scoring. And then you get yourself Kyle Anderson, who's the defensive maestro, who can pass the ball, averaging 6 assists over this win streak and is a starter next to Rudy Gobert. And then you also have yourself Taurean Prince coming off the bench for Jaden McDaniels and Kyle Anderson as another guy who can just pace the floor and guard multiple positions. It's just they're starting to look like the team from last year. that they had like these long, rangy guys who attacked.
The switchability, switchability on defense. Yeah, they're starting to look like that team from last year. And if that team from last year adds Rudy Gobert, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Gobert, like that will at least make them better. So, and last year they were in the playoffs. So there's no reason they shouldn't be back there.
Yeah. Yeah, regardless of all the dysfunctionality.
There's too much talent to not make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, it's a failure, and they have to ask serious questions about the team in the offseason.
Yeah.
When you give up all those picks to get Gobert, and you think that he's going to take over the top, well, then they got to perform like it. And to their credit, they have. But let's see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, no, I really think when you look at this, I just think, how does Karl Anthony Towns fit? Like, it's weird. Because he can't do what McDaniels or Prince or Anderson does. You got to bring him off the bench.
You can't do what Gobert can do defensively either.
That's what I'm saying. You bring him in, like, you can't do what Naz Reid does.
And they don't need a scoring. They don't need him to. They don't need Cat to like in terms of his skill set. Like they don't really. Yeah.
Cat isn't tradable.
Oh wait, yeah, because he just signed that contract in the summer. Yeah, so he's not tradable for a year.
Shout out Marcus Moore for that information.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Shout out.
And I think you bring him off the bench, 6-man role.
You can't have the greatest shooting big man of all time coming off the bench, regardless of.
At this point, I believe he's the second behind Dirk Nowitzki. Karl Anthony Towns. I used to say that. Karl Anthony Towns has betrayed me.
Still a great shooting big guy, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Mike Muscala.
There's value somewhere around the league.
Tell me what's the difference between Mike Muscala and Karl Anthony Towns.
He went from saying Karl Anthony Towns is the greatest shooting big guy of all time to comparing him to Mike Muscala. How the season can change things.
We're basically paying Mike Muscala a supermax. No, you know what? He's just Andrea Bargnani.
He's a slightly better he's a slightly better Andrea Bargnani.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Way better. He's way better than the combination of both of those two guys.
Yeah,
he's just a better rebounding Andrea Bargnani. He does the same thing Andrea Bargnani does, except rebound a tad bit better.
Andrea Bargnani, a 23-point per game career scorer,
was at one point.
Well, that's not how that works.
He did that. Andrea Bargnani averaged 20 a game for like 4 years.
So you're saying like Cat can fall off and
he's like a worse Pau Gasol, all right?
Pau Gasol's guys, look at this. Andrea Bargnani, 21 points and 5 rebounds. Shot 30. He's a career 35%.
He did that for 1 year. He had 1 year scoring 20.
No,
20
look at this stretch right here. This 3-year stretch he had right here. 17 and 6, 37% from 3, 19 and a half points.
That's not 20.
He had 21 right there, you bitch.
I'm saying he has 1 year where he scored 20 points.
I'm just saying.
Compare this guy to Karl Anthony Towns, who had
Andrea Bargnani, 7 foot, 245
every year except for his rookie season, and he's been in the league for a very long time now. Almost 10 years. So
Karl Anthony Towns stats.
It's blasphemous.
7 foot, 248 pounds. They're literally the same exact player.
Pull up the 100 possession stats and they'll be closer because the game was slower back then.
Yeah, you fuck.
It's still going to be Cat's still way better. I'm not agreeing with you here. I'm still agreeing with Jackson.
Look at that!
If you're trying to make your point, that's how you make your point.
Right here. Andrea Bargnani was averaging 20 every year. 20 and almost 10, same exact.
That's not just straight up.
But look at Cats. Though. It's not going to be too dissimilar, I bet.
I hope it's in the 40s.
It might be in the 30s. Oh, man.
30s,
Imagine if it's in the 20s, like on.
They're almost identical.
Yes.
He's like slightly higher.
These are significantly better than Andrea. Significantly.
Andrea Bargnani still had multiple 30-point seasons, though. If we're talking for.
Dude. But it doesn't help my argument that Karl Anthony Towns is a slightly better rebounding and a better scoring version of Andrea Bargnani.
I mean, he's a little bit more than slightly better, but
Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrea Barzani, same player. Just Karl-Anthony Towns is the modern day version of Andrea
He's
Barzani.
just like decently better, but yeah.
They're both first overall picks.
They were. You're
They're
right.
both 7 foot, 245
7
pounds.
foot, 7 foot smooth shooting big guys. Cat's just significantly better.
I think they're all the same.
I'm glad that you brought this up though, Sierra, because I thought it was funny.
Hey, it's a legit thing.
Look at the Lakers.
The Lakers are winning.
They're winning.
5-game win streak, bitch. But LeBron ain't playing tonight because he's a bitch made pussy.
Load management, so they're probably going to lose. The win streak's over. But it was nice while it lasted, and they did need to win those games, and they won 5 in a row. So they kind of played themselves back into contention, which is what they needed to do. So credit to them. But they are going to lose tonight because he's not playing.
Bruno, I'm sorry. I'm a Barzani guy. I'm telling you. Okay, so look. Barzani would be still the first overall pick.
If he came out today, he 100%. Oh yeah, he still would have been a number 1 overall pick. Of course. And I've always said this: a guy who would have been in the NBA instead of the NFL, it would have been Antonio Gates if he came out.
Shut the fuck up.
He was a 6'7". He
says this all the time.
6'6", 250, could shoot threes. 30%. He's like PJ Tucker. He would have found a career.
Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, Antonio Gates would be like Royce O'Neal or PJ Tucker. That's fine.
Okay, let's hear the LeBron stand here. The guy who rides LeBron's dick 24/7, Jackson. What is your thoughts? Go James.
Well, it hasn't been just go James. It's been their whole team. In fact, they are the 5th best scoring offense in the league somehow right now. But anyways, a couple of cats I named. Dennis Schroeder, who if our producer could roll back the clips of you wanting to trade him and Pat Bev for basically half-eaten ham sandwiches, we'll run that back.
It was Kendrick Nunn. Never was it Dennis Schroeder, you asshole.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right, but I do think Schroeder was in some of those. But Schroeder finally figured out how to play back into the NBA after just balling his ass off in Germany. And you also have TB31, who's on an absolute tear. And you could argue that both those guys single-handed or double-handedly kind of helped save this Lakers team because they were 14 and 21? 14 and 21, yeah. But go James, last 5, 36 points, 9 rebounds, 7.1 assists. You could argue he's having a LeBron-esque run right now.
They have not lost since his birthday. They are undefeated since LeBron James turned 38 years old.
Watch out for a Bogdy trade.
You're muted.
Thomas Bryant for the month of January is averaging 22 points.
Yeah.
Okay. And literally LeBron or Anthony Davis said he's excited. He's envisioning lineups of Thomas Bryant, Anthony Davis, and LeBron. Dude, is Thomas Bryant reborn?
Maybe. He just might be, man.
Because for the season, Thomas Bryant's averaging 13 points, but over the last month, it's 17.
I mean, Dennis Schroeder is averaging 24 for the month of January, and he's had
Dennis Schroeder's been insane.
They have saved the team.
Kendrick Nunn, 10 points.
Yeah, no more Kendrick Nunn.
Nunn, man.
He's shooting 50% from the field.
The Bizarro Lakers.
Yeah, for real. And even Russ has done a great job in the last couple of games. So
it doesn't even matter. It's literally. I'm just kidding.
They should still trade.
They still have AR-15.
He's hurt.
Nope, they still
AR-15 is huge.
Anthony Davis is hurt too, and they're going to get him back too.
AR-15 and who else was it? AR-15 and somebody else got hurt. I think it's.
We shouldn't just name every Laker player not by their real name, but just the abbreviation with DS17, TB31,
AR-15.
Juan Toscano also I know.
Yeah, he's been.
It was Lonnie Walker got hurt.
Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves are both hurt. So right now, but Kendrick Nunn, Wayne Gabriel, Pat Bev even stepping up. I mean, Pat Bev still can't hit the right side of a barn, but this for the month so far, he's 41% from 3 and 40% from the field. But still the defense.
We'll take that.
We'll take that. Juan Toscano Anderson
He's not a 40% 3-point shooter, so if you can get him,
he's not. No, Juan Toscano Anderson. They just told him stop shooting the ball, just play defense. He's literally Andre Roberson.
Yeah, that's it. they gave him the Andre Roberson treatment, man. That's what Lou Dort was going under for a little bit before he got fired in the playoffs that one time.
But they literally, Juan Toscano Anderson was shooting in the beginning of the year, and since he's been playing good over this last 5 or 6 games,
He still told him to stop shooting.
He's averaged over the last 4 games 63% in the field, 2 shots a game.
Yeah, because they don't need him to shoot.
But he's a bit of fucking lockdown on D.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's Andre Roberson.
Andre Roberson's actually good. Like he would if he didn't destroy his leg or whatever happened.
Yeah, like he was like a phenomenal defender, but they just wouldn't let him.
Oh, he would have been a small ball 5 right now if he hadn't destroyed absolutely
that's
pulled a cephalosha mid game.
He's
remember that?
Yeah,
and Tony has a G too.
Jackson, you know what I just referred to when Cephalosha got his leg broken by police?
Yeah.
In France, was it?
No, it was in America.
He sued New York City. He sued New York City.
Him and Sterling Brown both got assaulted by cops, within a year of each other.
Really?
Jeez.
Sterling Brown got assaulted?
Yes, he did.
What happened to Sterling Brown?
He got arrested by cops, and they hit he didn't it wasn't I don't think he broke his leg or anything, but
it wasn't bad as Cephalosha. Cephalosha sued.
No, it wasn't
millions.
bad. But he still got assaulted by cops, if I'm not mistaken. You don't remember that shit?
I don't remember Sterling Brown, but I remember Cephalosha because he took him to New York City to court.
He was for the Bucks at the time.
Dude, really?
Yes, look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Sterling Brown cops. You don't remember that?
I thought something had some altercation. He got punched at a club last year, 2 years ago.
Oh, he got tased. He got tased by the cops.
Oh my God, it was in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I told you he was for the Bucks. He got paid $750K by the city.
Well, that's his whole contract.
Yeah, they fucking tased him. They fucking tased him.
Yeah, and he got $750,000.
Yeah. Wild, man. These guys were NBA players and they're still getting assaulted by cops. It's just unbelievable stuff, really. Ugh.
They had. Oh my God, though, the settlement contained no admission of constitutional right violations, but however, it did contain an apology and a recognition of unnecessary escalation. Oh my God.
Classic cop answer.
And they said unnecessary escalation despite Brown's calm behavior. So basically, all it was we're not admitting that we did anything wrong.
But we did something wrong. That's what they always do. That's a cop answer right there.
That's funny. That's not funny, but it's funny in the sense that
it's sad. It's sad. That's why we're laughing.
Yeah. So here they also signed. They're actually signing Sterling Brown, ironically, to a 10-day. Allegedly, they're working out DeMarcus Cousins and Tyler Dorsey.
DeMarcus Cousins, great addition to this team.
They've been interesting.
We talked about it the other day on the show. Great addition to the team.
So let's move over to a team that you guys love to talk shit about for some reason. You guys don't know why. You guys are the biggest haters of this team.
Producer, run back the clip. What have I been saying the last month?
Fuck the Suns.
Below 500 won't be long.
Yeah, we're Suns haters. We said they had a tough. What was it? The clip that we said on. We said the other day when you missed the show, me and Jackson were they could reasonably lose their next X set of games.
They're losers of 6 in a row.
And we looked at their upcoming schedule, and when they had lost 2 in a row or 3 in a row, it was a day or two after they beat Memphis without on the road. And we were man, this team could lose 4. This team could lose a whole bunch of games. I don't see any winnable games, and they have been losing. They got beat by the Heat on Friday, and then they lost to the Cavs. They got smacked by the Cavs.
4 straight games.
Phoenix Suns.
100 points.
Yeah, they fucking suck.
So the Phoenix Suns lost to the Knicks, lost to the Cavs, lost to the Heat, and lost to the Cavs again. And the Suns have shown everybody that Devin Booker is so fucking valuable. This team has literally collapsed under.
I had a score, man.
They're 4-14 their last 18 games, 2-10 since Booker.
Yeah, they had a fluke win on the road against Memphis, and then ever since then they haven't won anything. They had that if they were gonna pick up some wins, it would have been against New York, Washington, Toronto, but they couldn't even win those games. So,
is there a chance if Chris Paul turns back the clock?
I mean, what they have like the Warriors, Nuggets, and Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Grizzlies all on the road after this, man. Like those are tough games, man. I honestly don't know if they win any. They might get one. They might be able to somehow beat the Grizzlies again because that's just basketball. But like, I don't know, man. The Suns have lost 6 in a row now, and like they could reasonably make it to 10.
Yeah, and they're still on the road now.
Yeah,
what is it, 6th grade on the road or something like that?
They got a road trip coming up for the next 4 games. So
this team sucks. I don't know why people thought I was just hating on the Suns for no good cause. They should have lost to the New Orleans Pelicans last year. This is not a good basketball team. Like, they're just not good. Devin Booker is so good, though, that he makes them seem good enough. CP0 has never accomplished anything in his entire career of playing professional basketball as far as championships go, but I'm supposed to believe that baby brother DeAndre Ayton wants to be there. CP0, they're not. Monty Williams, I'm disappointed. I used to love Monty Williams.
So right here, the crazy part is for January, and their leading scorers, DeAndre Ayton with 16 points, then Chris Paul 14, Mikal Bridges 12.5, Dwayne Washington with 12, Landry Shamet with 10.5, Torrey Craig with 7.5, 7 from Jock Landale, 6 from Damian Lee, 5 from Cameron Payne, and then 4 from Darius Arch and Ish Wainwright. It's pretty fucking abysmal that nobody on this team can score.
You got a friend on the podcast, on the show. Hi, hello.
Did you want some love, Vegas?
Hi, hello. Yeah, she does. She's like, hug me. No, stop it. You can come sit down here and watch the show. You got to be nice. She's like, no. All right. Wait. What were you talking about, Cyro? Sorry, the dog just jumped.
The Suns' leading scorer for the month of January is DeAndre Ayton with 16 points.
Yeah, because they have no offense without Chris Paul or not Devin Booker. Like,
Chris Paul's averaging 14.
Where do the buckets come from? Who scores on this?
Landry Shamet?
Who's a
DeAndre 18, 16, Chris Paul 14, Mikal Bridges 12.5, Dwayne Washington 12, Landry Shamet 10.5, Torrey Craig 7.5, Jock Landale 6.7, Damian Lee 6, Cameron Payne 5, Darius Sarge 4.5, Ish Wainwright 4, and Josh Okogie 2 for the month of January.
Yeah, like they have no shot creators without Devin Booker, man. Like they don't have anybody that like they just suck, and that shows you how valuable D-Book was to this team because without him, they can't do anything. And they made like they should. There's no reason that if doing D-Book comes back, this team should not be in the playoffs. But that just shows you, like even with D-Book, they still like they got lucky the year they made the finals that they didn't have to play. They got to play a bunch of injured teams. They got lucky, and then obviously last year they got stomped by 40 on their home court in Game 7. So
I'm gonna go get ready for supper, but I wish you good luck tonight, Luke. We've won what should be 9 of our last 10, and 2 of them were BS play call, or the Zebras messed up the calls. So I'd watch out.
The Bulls are back.
They're back. But,
the Bulls are back.
Yeah, the Bulls are back, man.
All right, let's talk about that real quick before we do Pirtle, and here we are.
I mean, Jackson said it. They're back. They won 9 out of their last 10. They got unlucky in a couple close losses. The Bulls are back.
Are they this year's Boston Celtics?
Okay, well, let's not act like they're going to finish with like a top 2 seed in the East. Okay, they're probably not going to do that because there's too many good teams above them. But the Bulls are back. They should they're playing their way. They're playing their best basketball now. There's no reason that this team should not.
They're the 9th seed.
Lonzo's not even back. They're the 9th seed. They're trying to win.
Also, can we talk about the Heat aren't that bad for how injured they are?
Yeah, the Heat aren't that bad either. Like the Heat, for how injured that they've been, they're not like it's always like the East and like the Heat and the Bulls are 2 teams that like haven't been like that great this year compared to what we expected. But if
they're still in it.
They're still in it, and if they're both fully healthy, there's no reason why they couldn't go on a run in the playoffs because the East is wide open, just like the West is. So
I mean, I think there's some heavy hitters at the top of the East. There's
more so than the
So-
West. It's less wide open, but it's still wide open. Like obviously Brooklyn, like Boston and Milwaukee. But like the other,
Yeah.
as far as those three, well, fuck, man. Like, I mean, Cleveland is probably starting to earn some respect as far as
those are the top 4 seed teams. It goes
But-
probably the Nets, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Cavs.
yeah, and then Philly's probably the best of the rest right now. But they never impressed me in a Doc Rivers coach team in the playoffs.
For how good I just don't.
Otherwise, like I don't believe them. I don't believe that they have what it takes to beat the other teams in the East.
Well, the Bulls are led by Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, both averaging like 29 a night. Nikola Vucevic is averaging 18 and 15. Patrick Williams can score now more than 9 points. And Ayo DeSumo, Andre Drummond, Derek Jones, and Kobe White and Goran Dragic are all actually being like positives off the bench.
Exactly, and Zach LaVine's starting to finally play like that max contract player that they needed him to be, especially with Lonzo being out. And then you think when Lonzo comes back, and we've been saying it, if I should say, because we don't know if he's going to come back at this point. If Lonzo comes back, this team, even without Lonzo, they're still starting to play their basketball. They're really good basketball right now. But if Lonzo comes back, this team goes from being like the 6th seed or 7th seed at best right now, I think, to being like the 4th best team in the Eastern Conference. That's what I think. If a healthy Lonzo comes back fully, but we'll see what happens. Even then, the Bulls should start to feel good now because now they have started to play better basketball. They don't need to worry about, holy shit, what do we do without Lonzo?
Yeah, I just don't know after this season, is this, regardless of how it goes, do you move on from Lonzo?
I don't know, because if he doesn't play at all this year, you probably do. If he doesn't even suit up for you, I think you have to.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely an interesting situation they are, because I don't know with the Chicago Bulls, they're starting to have the direction, but like again,
things can go so wrong for them.
And the other thing is the reason why they're playing well is because they're basically playing LaVine, DeRozan, Vucevic, Williams, and Sumo the whole game with a little bit of Kobe White and Derek Jones. And like they're really staggering their minutes. And I'm just scared.
They don't have a ton of they don't have a ton of depth. And
the depth that they have, you can only play them for so little.
Yeah, and also their offensive scheme isn't as, I don't want to say modern, but they are last in the league in 3-point attempts. And they do often, when things start to go south, they're like, hey, DeMar, do something and get a contested mid-range shot and make it every time. And nobody can make all of them.
Yeah, during this win streak, they are averaging like 24 assists. Like it's a lot of ISO.
Yeah. Like, because that's kind of how they're like. That's one thing that worries me about their offense.
2/3 of their assists come from LaVine, DeRozan, and Vooch, who each of them are averaging 5 assists a night.
Yeah, because they rely on those guys to be stagnant with the ball and create shots, which is like fine to some extent. But the problem is like
because the Sumo, Williams, and White and Jones can't create for themselves.
Yeah,
so they just have to stand there and catch and shoot.
Their offense isn't super fluid compared to like other teams. Like when you're watching the Celtics Mavs game, the ball movement was fucking amazing. The Celtics were doing one-touch passing across the entire fucking 3-point line, whereas like you look at the Bulls and it's like, hey, all right, DeMar, clear out, ISO, he'll hit a turnaround mid-range jumper and make it most of the time. He does, but you can't rely, like you have to be able to get open shots. I know like it's not like college where you literally have to get open shots because nobody can make a fucking contested shot to save their life. Like this isn't college. These guys are good enough, but still.
This might be the worst college basketball season of all time.
I don't. As far as like NBA,
it's boring.
Like, I found it entertaining. I found it really entertaining. I think it's probably one of the best in recent memory because of how entertaining and wide open everything is. I found it like to be one of the best in recent memory.
So far,
yes. Because there's so many good teams. But there's no like truly like dominant teams that have distanced themselves from the rest of the pack, and that's why it's exciting. But when I look at all the college guys, I'm like, man, as far as like NBA talent on like even elite teams, it's just it's not there like it used to be, man. Like what Brandon Miller is probably the best one and done guy in this draft class, I think.
I told you my top 50 only
Unless,
has,
I mean, I think you still have Cam Whitmore and Nick Smith above him, but they've been injured for most of the year. I mean, Nick Smith came back and got injured again, and Cam
Anthony Black.
Anthony Black's been good, but like I think Brandon Miller is probably the best freshman in the country, in my opinion, in terms of like one and done guys. And
There's
that's
like only
that just shows you that, like, because like the best two, the clear
in
like
the top 60 draft prospects, there's maybe 15 college players.
yeah, like the top three guys right now. What is it? It's which one of the Thompson twins, and then like Scoot Henderson and Wembanyama. So no two, like an overtime elite guy, a G League guy, and then obviously the
And then
fucking draft prospect that the NBA has ever seen since LeBron James.
and more international players. Like
Yeah,
this point, dude, the
Player
international
development in American sports in general, and this is not a college basketball exclusive thing, it's an all thing. That's why we suck at soccer too, because like we have this idea that kids need to be playing for their, like, instead of being signed to play in youth academies for professional teams and not playing for their school and moving around, they get that stability of being in the same system from when they're kids. So they play with that style of play in that team system when they're kids. That's what like all the top prospects, and like Wembanyama has been playing with that team in their academy for years before he went pro.
No, he hasn't. Not with that team. He's
with a different academy though.
Two different teams. He left the Tony.
He's
Parker.
playing with professional facilities, yes. Professional team academies, right? Is that what he's doing? That's okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Soccer players do the same thing. They move to different academies, but they still play against other professional teams and like in professional facilities. We have guys, they play it also gives them a chance to go pro when they turn 16. Like
the crazy thing about this is like half the college prospects that are going to get drafted this year are older college prospects, and then the other half are one and dones that could have played overseas or professionally already, but they did the one and done thing
because they can get NIL now.
Yeah, but it's NIL can't.
No, it can't and it won't. But the NIL, the reason why I say that it saved college basketball is one, because of guys who aren't one and dones that can stay and be great college players and make money. But two, it at least gives in like 18-year-olds kids like a decision to make, because they have the option to make money in college as well as in.
If I was 18,
I would play overseas. There's no.
Yeah, if I was 18 and a top 100 ESPN prospect, I would reclassify, graduate a year early, and go play in Europe or in Australia.
Exactly. There's no that's what I would do, and that's what
I would even play maybe 2 seasons overseas.
That's what more and then enter the doing. But at least with NIL, they can at least be guaranteed to like make some level of money.
No, I agree.
But the way basketball's trending, like I was saying with our youth systems, the fact that these kids aren't playing in academies, they're playing in high schools and AAU and stuff, the stability is there. Like getting a chance to play against like grown men at like 16 is important for the development of kids. Like what happened to Lamelo.
Alrighty. Turtle time. Here we are.
Let's see it.
Callie Hayes.
Anthony Simons?
I think you're right.
Bang! Wow. That was nice.
How do you feel?
That was easy. I saw the silhouette and you said Killian Hayes. I'm like, Anthony Simons?
Anthony would have been my second guess.
Yeah, it's just the hair. That's all.
It's the hair.
I figured it was him. I'm like, you already said Killian Hayes. I'm like, well, who else would be there? Anthony Simons.
Romeo Langford's hair used to look like that. Chris Duarte's too.
Yeah, but like Anthony Simons was like the top first thing that came to mind.
Chris Duarte is a weird prospect. Like, he's starting to play well this season, but like,
I mean, he's playing like their rebuild was.
Why aren't the Lakers trying to trade for Chris Duarte? If he was
they need shooting.
Like, dude, if I was the Lakers, I'd be like, here's Kendrick Nunn and a first-round pick for Chris Duarte. We get him for 2 more seasons.
Our first-round pick's gonna suck because we're gonna be a good team, or we should be a good team. So yeah, I mean, Chris Duarte, like
Celtics, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the Celtics really need more shooting, but
Chris Duarte on the Celtics, though,
I'd be a good fit, but I don't think they need.
Payne Pritchard for Chris Duarte and a first-round pick. Payne Pritchard and a first-round pick for Chris Duarte.
Maybe. I mean, Chris Duarte would certainly probably play more than Payne Pritchard, so I don't know. We have a lot of guards. We don't really need to trade for anymore. But like the Lakers,
Payne Pritchard was lit 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but he's just buried in the depth chart now. But
he can't play defense for shit. He's a shooting guard in a point guard body.
We need defense on this team. That's our biggest problem now.
I know. I just try to think of Michelle Pellegrino, but I've been drinking so much Pellegrino since I've been home.
Ugh.
My parents don't buy bottled water, and I love bottled water, but like I go to the store and I'm not gonna buy a pack of bottled water, so I just buy myself a big ass Pellegrino like once a day. I love seltzer and sparkling water with no
I hate
flavor.
that shit so much. I hate any carbonated things. Any
You don't
soda.
like soda?
I've hated all soda and all sparkling water since I was a little kid. Always hated it.
Why?
Carbonation, I've never gotten to.
You drink beer though.
Yeah, and I hated beer when I first started drinking it too.
I don't think anybody liked beer when they first started drinking.
No,
it.
but I have a terrible I have my taste, but I hate carbonation. So like the fact that I can like still drink beer now without it tasting like shit is right. That's why a lot of beer tastes like shit.
It's just because you're Persian.
But I mean, I drink beer. It's just a lot of it tastes like shit.
I mean, most beer tastes like shit.
Exactly.
It's not saying
Add
nobody
the fact
drinks
that
beer for the taste.
Add in the fact that I hate carbonation, it makes it even worse.
All right, any closing thoughts before we go?
Any closing thoughts before we go? Oh shit! We forgot to talk about the Austin Rivers situation. But I mean, I thought it was funny that he was. I just thought it's funny that he called out the guards of a team that he doesn't even play for anymore. Tom, they don't play the game the right way. Like,
Oh
they're,
yeah. Well, I
they're
think
more talented than you ever were. So like,
no, but I think what he's calling out is, I don't think he's calling out the Rockets. I think he's calling out the Rockets coaching staff for being shit at developing and being like, you are not setting these guys up for success.
I mean, I guess like you could look at it one of two ways. He's either saying that the Rockets coaching staff is bad or that the kids aren't playing the game the right way. But I don't know.
I read into it him basically because he's a coach's son.
Yeah, maybe that might be what he's going for. I don't.
He's
really
not.
know.
I don't think he's because players don't really shoot like shots
Players
at
don't really
young
take
guys.
shots. I mean, they like yeah. I mean, they kind of do.
It's just a really low thing to do
mean,
to
like
young guys to a
what was it?
losing team.
Kyrie Irving took shots at our young guys, and he went to the Nets the next year.
But that's different. That's different. But like just in general, guys don't normally just go out of their way to a rebuilding team and shit on their young guys. I think he's shitting on the coaching staff and basically being like,
he doesn't play there anymore. So
yeah, but I'm basically, and that's what I'm saying. Like he was part of that Rockets organization. He's probably just shitting on the Rockets organization, being like, you guys are setting this team up for failure. Like we've talked about, Steven Silas isn't a good coach, and Austin Rivers is indirectly saying, y'all have no direction. You guys are coaching this team.
His experience was like 6 games for the worst team in NBA history when his dad was sick. So
yeah. And they act like he was like this big old architect of the greatest offense of all time. But like, I mean, look at the players they had on that roster, and Rick Carlisle was there.
Yeah, like I'm not.
What Rick Carlisle is doing in Indiana. People forget Rick Carlisle is like a really good coach.
Yeah, look at what he did in Indiana before, in the first stint. Like
look at what he did in Dallas
like Indiana. He was great in Indiana. He was great in Dallas. He's great in Indiana again. Like Rick Carlisle is a great.
Rick Carlisle wasn't fired from Dallas. Wasn't it like a mutual?
It was a mutual. It was a mutual thing because like they disagreed on the state of where the organization was like going.
It was just philosophical differences.
I think it was more like Mark Cuban wanted a new coach the
relationship ran its course.
Yeah,
they were going into a new.
People were saying that Luka forced Rick Carlisle out, but I think it was a Mark Cuban Rick Carlisle thing because Luka was only there for like a few years.
I just think it was this.
Like it was a Mark Cuban.
The whole front office changed too. Like they fired Donnie Nelson and they brought in. I think it was just Mark
Cuban wanted to change things up.
Yeah, and I don't even think Mark Cuban had like any ill intent to those guys. It was basically like, hey, you guys were from the old generation with Dirk Nowitzki. That.
Like we're bad now. We have a new direction. We need a new team. Like
and the new guy, Nico Harrison, came from Nike and he's like 20 years younger. It's just like, look, we just need
they're just trying to get younger.
New energy.
Yeah. And sometimes it's easy to do that.
Yeah, and like the fact that Rick Carlisle got a job, like I mean, also nobody talks about Nate Yorgan.
Oh yeah, because the last Patriots coach, because he fucking sucked. He lost the locker room.
Yeah, but like he was a wonderkin.
But he lost the locker room last year.
He's an assistant coach now for the Raptors.
He lost the locker room. That's why they fired him, because he lost. Like there was. Did you not see there was like a report that came out?
Yeah,
he lost the locker room. Like,
but the whole thing was
they wanted Nate McMillan still. All those old players, all the veterans. They wanted not even like that. Like people wanted Nate McMillan to still be there.
Wasn't his problem that he was like over reliant in analytics?
I don't know if it was all of that, but like they didn't like he lost the locker room, so it was clearly the way that he talked to and communicated with the players.
Yeah, and he went back to the Raptors.
Maybe it was analytics. I don't know. I mean, most of the
I just remember when he got hired, he was a wonderkind who was like this great analyst, like one of the greatest analytic minds.
I think most teams now analytics in basketball isn't like it is in baseball. It's like analytics in basketball.
Football.
Yeah, or not. Yeah, there's less to analyze. It's like the analytics in basketball led to teams stop the elimination and their like reduction in mid-range jumpers. That's what analytics led to. And that's why nobody should really shoot mid-range jumpers anymore. So I think every team is using analytics at that point. Like people already look at like numbers in basketball a lot, and pure scoring numbers are one thing that I don't like.
Sportingnews.com says the major problem with Nate Jorgen was, first off, the major problem with Nate Jorgen during his time in Indiana was his failure to connect with players and staff. His relationship with those in the organization became strained and led to his departure.
Yeah. Like we didn't hear anything else about what actually happened. We just know that there was like this.
He not only lost the locker room, but much of the organization in his 1 year. It was said couldn't move forward with a young coach who struggled to manage a locker room. Had the Pacers been moving toward a rebuild, Jorgen would have stayed.
Yeah, but they weren't. Like they had like now they're clearly not, but.
So this is one of Jorgen's former G League players told Bleacher Report when Jorgen was hired, the former G League player was surprised because he's not the easiest to work with just on anything. He's kind of stubborn, won't listen, even though it might be a good conversation. He's a micromanager. He's not for everyone. They didn't do their background on who Jorgen was or how he treated people. They just talked hoops with him.
Yeah, and that's not, and I guess that's not everything. Like. It is.
One person said he had a Jekyll and Hyde thing going where he reportedly screamed at longtime staffers, coaches, and players and was detailed as being controlling. He was just very different. He's not a dick. He's just completely out of his element as a leader. And
so not ready to be a head coach.
Yeah, and like
maybe he gets another chance in the future, but not ready to be a head coach at this moment in time because he's not mature enough. He hasn't been around enough. That's basically.
They said he's trying to coach a team that he doesn't have. He's trying to fit the system to the players, and not the other way around.
Yeah, you can't do that in today's basketball.
Yeah, and then
TJ. The players aren't a system.
So supposedly TJ Warren. This explains why TJ Warren, who played under Jorgen when he was an assistant with the Suns, reportedly immediately requested a trade right after Indiana hired him.
Oh, that makes sense. The dots are starting to connect.
Dude, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. That TJ Warren requested trade like immediately after. Wow, that's kind of wild. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Dude, he must have been a real dick.
Yeah, like to piss off that many people, bro. Because at the end of the day, you can be a dick and people will still listen to you. If you're matter, like.
But you must be like an absolute asshole.
Like, yeah, like to piss off the organization who like was not really like when he took the job, they weren't really going anywhere. Like
that's fucking crazy.
And they fired him after like a year.
That's wild.
That's wild. And they brought Rick back. They had no other. They're like, how can we make this team good? Oh, I know. We'll bring back the guy who led us to like one of our most franchise history.
Conference final.
Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah. Like,
okay, I'm heading out of the closet. I'm coming out the closet.
All right. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Let's play the music.
All right. Good little end of show rant about Nate Bjorken. That's a name.
Bjorken.
Whatever his name is. Not a lot of people remember him. Man, what a guy.
I just always found that so obscure, that hiring.
Yeah, exactly. And it just faded into nothingness. He's one of those NBA guys that will look like people will be like, remember Nate Bjorken in like 15 years? And
he'll probably have won like 6 rings as an assistant.
Yeah, he'll be an assistant, and then like maybe he gets another head coach.
He's back on the Raptors. He won a ring with the Raptors.
Yeah, maybe he gets back. Maybe he becomes a head coach again and leaves and does a bad job and loses the locker room again after 2 years, and then 10 years later, we'll look back at Nate Bjork and be like, man, how did this guy get like 2 coaching jobs? Everybody hated him, and he's still.
Is that what happened to Jim Boylan?
Whatever happened to him? Is he an assistant now?
I guess so. I mean, the second Jim Boylan. There was another Jim Boylan.
Talking about the guy for the Bulls most recently.
He's an assistant. He was a coach. He hasn't done shit. He just lost it.
Just gave up.
They gave him 2 seasons.
What's up? The Bulls?
Yeah. Also, he was the head coach of the U.S. Basketball World Cup qualifying team.
Jim Boylan, huh?
Yeah.
All right, take it easy. I'll see you tomorrow.
You too, bud.